Patriots owner Robert Kraft has stated over and over his fondness and belief in Mac Jones. I'm a believer in what Mac can do in the field. He's a self-proclaimed big fan of the third-year quarterback. Not to think that if push came to shove, Kraft might choose Mac over Bill.
The playoffs, and that's what I hope happens next year.
I cannot believe that this is what they're saying about Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. At first, I thought it was a completely false report. Then we did some digging, we did some research, we went all the way back and recapped this past season and saw the parallels that could be drawn that makes this story seem very, very true. And I'm gonna need you guys to help me get into the bottom of this. So before we get to the content, to celebrate the fact that the NFL season is just a little bit over a month away, we're doing a huge giveaway, $1,000 split between 5 subscribers that turn on our notifications on this channel. All you have to do to be entered is hit that bell, and if you've already done it before, you're entered. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? This isn't the first time we've ever made a video in regards to the New England Patriots having some turmoil. As a matter of fact, last year, this team looked anything but a stable organization. Going into last season, we were wondering who was going to be responsible for the development of Mac Jones. Bear in mind, the development of a young quarterback is a very precious job. You do it properly, and you could have yourself the next coming of Josh Allen. You could possibly have a Mahomes on your hands. But if you do it improperly, a player that could be Josh Allen could turn out to be like Zach Wilson, who had a defensive-minded head coach and a rookie offensive coordinator who was responsible for his development in a very complex offense. And I'm not necessarily pointing the blame finger strictly on Mike LaFleur for Zach Wilson's failures, but a part of my personal football philosophy is 40% of being a quarterback in the NFL is your talent, and the other 60% is whether or not you get drafted to a stable organization. I mean, look no further than Ryan Tannehill. Struggled mightily when Adam Gase was his head coach, ended up finding some success with the Tennessee Titans. But at the same time, I'm one of those individuals that believes if Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Chicago Bears, he may have been a turnover-prone, gunslinging QB. If Josh Allen was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, he would have never matured into the player he is now, maybe becoming Blake Bortles 2.0. Regardless, I feel like if there's one thing we could agree upon, it's that whenever your quarterback is coming off of a very successful rookie season, you want to make sure that in year 2, he has consistency and someone dependable that he could rely on for his development. And unfortunately, in year 2, Josh McDaniels left the New England Patriots to ruin a brand new organization, the Las Vegas Raiders. Bill Belichick at that time had a myriad of individuals that he could have turned to. He could have turned to Bill O'Brien, who was coaching Alabama's offense at the time. He could have turned to any of his former quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks and brought him in to assist Mac Jones' development. What did he end up doing? He decided to bring Matt Patricia, who recently failed as the head coach of the Detroit Lions, who has been a defensive coordinator for the entirety of his coaching career, to be the offensive coordinator for Mac Jones. And I guess his sidekick was Joe Judge, who recently failed as the head coach of the New York Giants, but was a special teams coach for the New England Patriots prior to that. Very interesting. Why would Bill Belichick bring these two people in? Could it be that Bill Belichick wants to be supported by yes men and not someone that could potentially challenge him? Who knows? The year went on, and the entire season for the Patriots was the furthest thing from smooth sailing. You had Mac Jones cursing at Matt Patricia. You had a quarterback controversy between Mac Jones and a rookie late round draft pick, Bailey Zappi, and the locker room was actually torn between Zappi and Mac Jones, at least according to former Patriots players. And eventually we got a bit of a regression from Mac Jones. Now, it wasn't as big of a regression as some analysts were making it out to be in his first season. He had a QBR of 50.9 and a passer rating of 92.5. In his sophomore season, his QBR went down to 36.2 and his passer rating went down to 84.8. And considering the fact that Mac Jones didn't really have stability at the wide receiver position, didn't really have stability from the coaching position and had a rookie quarterback who somehow was experiencing more success than he was, breathing down his neck. This is a miraculous stat line. Yes, it wasn't even close to his Pro Bowl nod in his rookie year, but it could have been way worse given the circumstances. Now, to the New England Patriots' credit, they did their best to rectify the situation. In the offseason, they brought back Devontae Parker. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster, who recently won a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. They also added Mike Gesicki, an underappreciated tight end, at least once the Mike McDaniel era began, for the Miami Dolphins. And most importantly of all, they finally got a legitimate offensive coordinator for Mac Jones. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Well, it seems like despite all of this, we might be seeing the end of the Bill Belichick era with the New England Patriots. Now, there's always been alleged turmoil between Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, and Bill Belichick himself. I mean, most recently, there was a picture that Devin McCourty posted with Tom Brady and Mac Jones a couple of weeks ago. And when McCourty was asked if this photo was taken at Robert Kraft's party, he said the details are not important. So they're assuming that yes, it was. But of course, people twisted this into something else. Two of the invitees are understandable. Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls for Robert Kraft and increased the value of his team by billions. McCourty was a 12-year captain who won 3 Super Bowls, and they get seats at the Kraft table for life. But why Mac Jones, who's already getting the invite to the Hamptons after 2 mediocre seasons with the Patriots? It's very interesting. Robert Kraft has said in interviews multiple times that he supports Mac Jones. Watch.
Working young man. He's in the stadium almost every day now in the off season. I think bringing in Bill O'Brien, I think will work to his advantage, and I'm very positive and hopeful about this upcoming year. And I personally am a big fan of Mac.
Now, this article does ask some very legitimate questions. Why would the Krafts already make Jones their guy despite having him accomplish so little? One answer could be that the Krafts want Jones to succeed to help their own legacy. For all the talk about how winning one more Super Bowl could fill the final hole in Bill Belichick's resume, to silence the "he only won with Brady" detractors, the same dynamic is at play for the Patriots owners. So they are invested in Jones succeeding. Belichick, meanwhile, barely wants to say Mac Jones' name in public. Now, you might be wondering, why is there turmoil between Mac Jones and Bill Belichick? If you guys remember, Mike Florio in April stated that Bill Belichick attempted to shop Mac Jones in trade talks with multiple teams during the offseason. This was as a result of some tension between Mac Jones and Bill Belichick in January. What did Mac Jones do to anger Bill Belichick? Well, when Mac Jones was frustrated about the New England Patriots' struggling offense, he sought counsel from outside the building, a move that didn't sit well with Bill Belichick. Mac Jones wasn't happy. He was telling people that he wasn't happy. He was calling people about, hey, can you help us with ideas and do stuff like that? From my understanding, Bill Belichick found out all of these things. He found out that Mac was talking to people in all this, and there was some back channel conversations going on behind Belichick's back. And I think that's where it went and got personal.
Belichick made Mac Jones aware of it too, as you might imagine.
Exactly.
Which is why it stopped.
Right.
To summarize, Mac Jones was panicking over the fact that the New England Patriots offense stunk, and they did. You had freaking Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator last year. Of course it's gonna sting. So what people are speculating is that the fact that Robert Kraft invited Mac Jones to the boat, in addition to Tom Brady and Devin McCourty, means that Robert Kraft would take Mac Jones' side over Bill Belichick's side. Now, why am I saying this? Because at the same time, we are hearing that Bill Belichick is on the hot seat, and he has been since 2019. So Tom Brady signs with the Buccaneers in the 2020 offseason. And man, things could not have gone any worse for Bill Belichick from that point on. I mean, Tom Brady immediately goes to Tampa Bay and wins a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick tries to replace him with Cam Newton, and that doesn't necessarily go so well. Bill Belichick then finally taps his new heir, Mac Jones, and he has a great season. And there's progress being made. They made it to the playoffs. Mac Jones makes it to a Pro Bowl as an alternate. And then the year after was, well, last year, which was a horrific year at that. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston said during an appearance on The Rich Eisen Show that there's been different levels of warmth since 2019. Watch.
You know, you talk about avoiding the hot seat. He's on the hot seat, and he's
been there at different levels of warmth since 2019.
It then goes on to say that there might be a chance that Jared Mayo could replace Bill Belichick.
Look disorganized, dysfunctional, the discipline's out the window, then they might say that was a great run. But can you go upstairs and just watch Gerard coach next year?
So pretty much, Bill Belichick has been on the hot seat since 2019 because Robert Kraft loves Tom Brady. Because after all, Tom Brady elevated the value of the New England Patriots by billions of dollars. I don't blame Robert Kraft for loving Tom Brady. And now that Bill Belichick moved on from Tom Brady, Robert Kraft might have some animosity towards Bill Belichick because his hubris could have got in the way of more Super Bowls. There's also a theory in this article suggesting that Bill Belichick's pursuit of Don Shula's record for the most wins in NFL history is impacting the situation. Belichick has 298 wins, while Shula finished his career with 328.
And I wonder if Belichick had already passed Shula, or was it even within hailing distance of Shula, if we would really have this kind of a hand-wringing, what do you do about Bill conversation.
That's not the only bit of Bill Belichick slander we got here. Asante Samuel, who recently has been making headlines for his war with Sauce Gardner on Twitter, recently roasted his ex-head coach, Bill Belichick, when he was asked if he was the best coach in NFL history.
Is he the best coach in NFL history?
Absolutely not. Are you crazy?
Why not?
Well, look at his record without Tom. You got to win without Tom.
So you telling me?
One thing I learned about being great, you got to be great in different situations. It was all Tom. I was there. I saw it. It was Tom. Everybody know it. Tom know it, but he ain't gonna admit it because he want to be politically correct. That's why I'm here.
That's why
I'm gonna tell the truth.
And you're not afraid.
And I never.
And you got experience to talk the truth.
Because I've been there. I seen it. I confronted him. We've been through it, and that's how I do.
What do I think about this report? Well, from the Asante Samuel perspective, I think he's trying to chase clout in the lowest way possible by insulting a head coach that he quite literally won 2 Super Bowls with. I guess you could say that maybe Asante Samuel felt like he did better once he left the Patriots for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a first-team All-Pro in 2007, and then he became a Pro Bowler 4 times between the years of 2007 and 2010. So I'm assuming that Samuel just thinks that maybe Bill Belichick held him back to a certain extent. I don't really know. But that aside, I actually believe everything that I said so far to you, including the parallels I drew for you so far. It really depends on where Robert Kraft's head is at. You see, New England Patriots fans believe one of 2 things. They either believe Tom Brady is the reason why they won all those Super Bowls, or they believe Bill Belichick is the reason why they won all those Super Bowls, or maybe they think it's a combination of both, and I fall into that category. I think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick combined is the reason why they won all of those Super Bowls. There were some years that were solely because of Bill Belichick. I mean, their final Super Bowl together against the LA Rams, where Bill Belichick was able to masterfully deconstruct Sean McVay's offense. It was the worst Super Bowl we've ever seen, and it was a Super Bowl where Tom Brady didn't do very much. On the flip side, in Tom Brady's greatest Super Bowl performance of all time against the Philadelphia Eagles, Patriots still lost. Why? Well, you could blame Bill Belichick being petty and benching Malcolm Butler. You could blame Matt Patricia for being the defensive coordinator and not knowing how to stop Nick Foles. You could point the blame finger anywhere. What I'm trying to say is I believe it's a combination of the 2. But for all you know, Robert Kraft may resent Bill Belichick. Hey, maybe if you didn't give up on Tom Brady so soon, which by the way, so soon being when Tom Brady was 42 years old.
Then maybe we could have won another Super Bowl, Bill. Maybe if your ego didn't get in the way, Bill, we could have won more.
But what I personally think is, in my opinion, I think Bill Belichick is getting up there in age. Bill Belichick is currently 71 years old, and he has the job of 2 people. We rarely see head coaches that succeed in a dual role of being the general manager and the head coach of the team. I saw Bill O'Brien attempt it with the Houston Texans. It was terrible. It didn't work. I mean, hell, you even look at Andy Reid on the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not the general manager. He just has a general manager that gets him what he wants. I can imagine Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid going up to Brett Veach and saying,
"Get us fast wide receivers."
The next thing you know, Brett Veach is drafting Sky Moore, signing Marquez Valdez-Scantling, trading for Kadarius Toney, hell, even signing the player with the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL history in John Ross. It's not Andy Reid doing it, it's Brett Veach doing it on behalf of Andy Reid. And in Bill Belichick's case, he's 6 years older than Andy Reid. He's 71 years old, and he has the job of both being the general manager and the head coach of the New England Patriots. I think the head coaching aspect of it, he's incredible at. There's no doubt in my mind, a top 3, at minimum, a top 3 head coach in the NFL. I would take Bill Belichick over Nick Sirianni. I would take him over Mike Tomlin. I'd take him over John Harbaugh. The only head coach that has more momentum than Bill Belichick right now is Andy Reid. And that's the only coach I would take over Bill Belichick right now. But the thing that tanks Bill Belichick's value is this dual role he's in, because lately he has been whiffing in terms of general manager duties. We already mentioned bringing in Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator. That's a general manager's job. That was a horrific mistake. Any other GM that does a move like that would automatically get fired. Trading a first-round quarterback a season after bringing him in just because of the fact that he didn't like his offensive coordinator is something that would typically get you fired. So I don't think the resolution to this issue is firing Bill Belichick. I think the resolution to this issue is just firing him as the general manager. Make him strictly the head coach. He's getting a little old anyways, but that actually could bring up a new issue. What if Bill Belichick is just being too stubborn and is saying, I'm either the head coach and the general manager of this team, or I walk, and he retires, or he goes to a new team that would happily give him the role of both. Maybe the Patriots are stuck in that regard. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you actually believe that Bill Belichick is on the hot seat? Or do you think this is just some BS junk rumor? Personally, I could see it going either way, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.